Hello once again and welcome back. Another episode of Hambage's Hardcore Minecraft is about to begin, and I'm glad to have you with. Hope you've had a chance to check out any of the prior videos. If you have, please let me know what you think with a comment or a like. Always appreciate those, and appreciate anybody giving a heads up to their friends. Let them know if they enjoy Minecraft. Maybe this will have some fresh ideas, or maybe they'll just enjoy the content running in the background while they play as well. Anyway, glad to have you with, and hope you enjoy this upcoming episode. This is a similar session to the one that we had. We had previously broken off. Same day for me, a little bit later. Been out enjoying what's a kind of nicer day than had been initially advertised weather-wise. So got out and enjoyed a little bit more of that. Took a little nice break, and now we're back at it. We have a bunch of our sleeping villager friends here, and we had just come back with a load of stuff from our base, including a few more lanterns. We were running low on those, so we'll get a little more light on the subject around here. I just think those look pretty nice. They add, just a little bit of variety to the torches. They're not my favorite light source, obviously. Having used as many torches as I have over the years, nothing quite compares to the Minecraft torch. But these definitely have helped. Now, I think, did these guys grow up? Yes. Let's before we chit chat too long and struggle, let's get them moved so that we'll have librarians to play with tomorrow. So we're gonna break. Now, I thought we had a deal, but I guess it doesn't matter. I thought they would retain their affinity for the beds that were available and would only return to the ones that they'd been assigned, but I guess that's not the case. You live and learn. Alright, sweet dreams. Good job, buddy. So, now we've cleared those two. We've got a little backup light supply. We're going to reset these two beds, and that should allow for more young villagers to grow up. And we're getting a little low on beds. I think we'd commented at the end. We've got we can set up two more, and we're also going to need to create a few more lecterns. I believe we've got two, but it's a little short. So we're really getting down to it. Somewhere out here, I thought it was over here. I'd left my red bed, but I don't see it. I don't know where that got off to. So maybe we'll encounter it someday or find it in the chest. But we are definitely going to want more friends coming over here. We're going to put these back on this side of the wall, so we kind of have groups of lecterns and beds. Now we'll close these off for the time being, just to kind of keep things ordered. We can open those up when we have new villagers that have grown up. But when everybody wakes up, our next priority is going to be these two guys and seeing what new valuable enchants or appealing enchants we get. The other thing that we really want to push for at the moment is additional produce. If you recall, and again, you may be watching this immediately after. For me, it's been a few hours. For others, it may be a few days. So, or this may be the first time you're here. Welcome, if you are. But anyway, we had last been harvesting. We recently got a new enchantment on our axe, so we can now harvest melons. So we've got those to trade. But additionally, we gathered up our other crops, and among those were our. I'm sorry, kind of distracted here. Among those were our potatoes, I think, that we didn't have room for. So we've got a lot more things to work on. Now we want to restock our lecterns. So now we've got plenty. I always want to have one or two spare, because when you're breaking and placing to get the enchanted books you want, if you happen to place as a villager cuts across your target, they will actually snatch them up, and they're not keeping them. As soon as you place another or pick one up, it will effectively pop the other one back into your inventory. So they don't go away. It's not loss, but it can slow down the process if you have to go make or grab one and then bring it back over again. So we made a few more planks than we really probably needed. Frankly, we're long on lecterns, more so than we are on beds. We'll need to start shearing sheep just to fill up that room. So always something to do. But we're gonna sleep now. I think we could carve out more rooms, but we've got some extra space primed for those guys. Now we'll put. We're gonna want books. We're gonna first get a bunch more emeralds, because we want to. And before we do anything else, why don't we just go finish gathering with our pumpkin. I swear, pumpkins and potatoes are going to cause trouble for me. We want our potatoes. We'll use our fancy new axe to get any new melons that may have grown. Give our skelly friend a wide berth. And yeah, once we're fully loaded, we'll produce what emeralds we can, and then we'll kind of go full force on the librarians that we have and see if we can't get a good trade option. While we're coming over and doing this, hey Oi, how you doing? Let's get some more wool, because, like I said, beds are our next limiting factor, and we don't want to be limited. We want to keep making progress wherever we can, and hopefully with the emeralds that we're going to get, unless things are exceptionally expensive, and even if they are, once we get Mending, we'll definitely want to buy a bunch of those, and maybe a number of. I don't know, had I ever really looked into this lake? Was that always here? Didn't we plant a bunch of trees through here? But I don't recall that. I remember this cave. We lit that up. There were cows down there, but that lake is kind of weird. Usually I will break the floating grass that is a natural feature of the lakes on the plains. For whatever reason, I think the grass, the surface and the grass get created first, and then the world builder drops in a bunch of lakes and other features into that existing, and when it goes back and clears it out, some of the grass that's been created just remains. I'm pretty sure how that all comes to be. And for one thing, it just kind of breaks the reality, right? Having grass floating several blocks high above a lake, doesn't really promote the experience a whole lot as being one that, oh yeah, I can relate to that. That seems normal and and reasonable. It's a little bit the opposite, but the bigger issue I find is when you're out moving across terrain, and even more so in the so tired of having to eat. Why do I get hungry when I'm harvesting, but not when I wanted to eat that beet stew at all? Um, anyway, when you're out cruising across, particularly savannas and plains, you're looking around. If you get tall grass and stuff that's just gathered over um, a lake that may be a couple blocks down, you end up, dropping into it, and then you got to build a ladder to get, or build a dirt block jumping ladder to get back out of it again, and not real fun, old danger aside. I don't like the floating grass, so I try to clear that out pretty regularly, and that's why it surprised me that lake was right there and had a floating grass block above it. It's something I usually just kind of instinctively clear out. No real harm. We'll probably have to deal with that as we soon expand into beekeeping. An apiary will be nice, so we'll get that going. And the bees, as we talked about a little bit, they're going to be a big help to our crops, keeping them growing up as quickly as possible when we have these chunks loaded. So all good factors to keep in mind, and fun game mechanics that bees are kind of cool of their own accord. They're a little cartoonish and cute, but what isn't in Minecraft? And they give us the benefit of honey or honeycomb, depending on how we harvest them. Don't use any of those a whole, to the point of dependence, but they are nice extra things to have at our disposal. And in addition, they keep, we'll get more melons and beets and pumpkins and all that kind of stuff by having bees around more quickly. So all in all, very, very good. And anything that can help us, I've talked at length about not really liking to depend on automation per se. I think you spend a lot of time investing just to get to the point where those things are up, and it can kind of become a self-serving cycle. You've got to build all the pieces to make those machines, and unless you're willing to really commit to that, it's the net is that you spend a lot of time just trying to get those resources to make it happen. It's why we don't have a darkroom spawner yet. Certainly they have a use, and they're nice to be able to keep those ready mobs at place, but they take a lot of resources to build, and as most people do, I like to make them a little more visually appealing than just a cobble box in the sky, or even worse, a dirt box in the sky. But for anything that's not exposed interior stuff, I certainly use the junk resources I have. But usually, when I find myself working on those, I'm probably looking to utilize a lot of sandstone. That gives me a nice color pattern that's or blast resistant. It's not particularly prone to getting blown up under you or around you if things start going bad with creepers. And we certainly haven't encountered a Badlands biome yet, so that's a limiting factor. And I don't, really enjoy just being in something that I don't find attractive. So we'll we'll definitely avoid pushing to do that. The other reason I haven't, and it's that same challenge of automation, is darkroom spawners. While they certainly fit it, you're just using game mechanics. It's not duping or any of those things that I personally don't want to do, and it's not AFK. I'm not gonna, I don't play Minecraft to have it running on my laptop when I'm not playing. I want my world to do stuff while I'm there, not, that any of that kind of any games that require that kind of effort just to get by, kind of get outside my play style. Do we have any little guys running around? I don't see any, and that tends to make me think that we don't have enough food amongst these. So let's just go ahead and invest a couple stacks of potatoes into the community pot here, and you guys can use those. But while you're working on that, let's also keep going. Now, I'm kind of breaking my own rule, but it's potatoes, and we're gonna have plenty. I was saying, let's start with the low tier guys and level them up. And here I go right to the master, the one guy we can't get any further. You can at least do that. You, we don't have enough left. We got some carrots though. Look at that. I'm just getting everybody ready. Again, it's a little tongue in cheek. We're gonna move these guys up so quickly now that it's not a major consideration. But like I said, I probably shouldn't have blown through all the, the potatoes I had, just so that I would now have to buy apples again just to finish that guy, so I can sell pumpkins or melons to him. It's that kind of stuff that makes you shake your head a little bit and go, "Oh man, why do I have to make it so tough on myself?" And of course, we end up here right at nighttime again. But already, I think we were down to level 19 after our enchanting. We've gotten 4 levels back and a half a stack of emeralds from barely doing anything on a mistake. So, always good progress. Keep chugging along on the cobblestone there. Again, we don't need to carry excessive amounts, but we'll keep that furnace fueled. Alright, I'm sure there's other stuff I can be doing through this night, but I'd rather get back up and get after it with these guys. So, job 1 is farmers. And low tier, then high tier. So we're going to start with carrots. Anybody, he's an expert, so he still has room to go. I just want to, after seeing it, and clear, 1 batch of melons will do all this, but I might as well be getting the level tiers until he loses interest or ability. And again, we're looking at their belts for what their primary role is. Beat guy, we definitely want to get the guy that's an apprentice when we switch over to beats. And beats, you or potatoes, you're done. Do we only have one? We can't only have 1 carrot guy, right? How do we end up with... No, here's carrot guy. So we'll just blow through the rest of our carrots on this guy. And this is an earth-shattering return, but as you can see, we're almost to... There we go, level 25, and we got 30 emeralds just out of our carrots. And hopefully, that could be a couple silk touches. If nothing else, we got more carrots. Let's do carrots, and I want to get those beets, because the beet guys were the ones that stood to advance the most. So now we're gonna go look at their belt buckles. Beat guy who's an apprentice. Boom. You're not doing quite as well as I thought either. Man, what a bummer. You are not a beat guy. We need to find those carrot. Hopefully one of the other carrot guys is back to ready. He is. Good. Again, this is slow progress to their advancement. It doesn't do a lot, but every little bit helps. Obviously, neither of those guys leveled up. We already got to 58 on our emerald count. Somewhere we have and you're an apprentice, so we'll do one batch of those, even if it's nothing more. That's good work. So now we got odds and ends. We drop off those few little mismatched ones. We'll pull our wheat, and we should have just about enough room for all this. Now that we miss any. Oh, perfect. So, anybody that can do wheat, we're going to do them. And so close, but that will take care of you. Good job. Now, you have nothing. You have melons. And again, this is where, while melons aren't usually the guys are masters by the time or it only takes one stack of melons, so we're not doing a bunch of leveling with melons, but man, all of a sudden our emeralds and our level, we just hit level 30. So again, this is why we put the effort into to having the fields and having the farmer guys here with our librarians is stacks of emeralds without much thought or effort. Yeah, we can't quite get through the pumpkins, but they may make you regain their interest a little bit. We can't do anything with the 9, so we'll give them a minute to think about it. We did very well, I think, in terms of our haul. Almost double their stash of emeralds here. Now, we don't immediately need beds. Maybe overnight we'll restock on those. Between 50 books and all these emeralds, we're going to be able to get anything that pops that we want to have. So we've got an iron axe loaded. We don't want to waste our silk touch or a good diamond axe. What do you got for us? Frostwalker? Don't care. Don't need it. Boom. Of course, that probably wasted. Careful, kid. Wasted a good chunk of our day. And we don't need to talk through all these. You're going to see this a lot, and I apologize if it goes extra long. Aqua Affinity for 5. It's a good just one to be able to buy, but it's also a great one to find as a single book at the enchanting table. So, and again, you don't need a lot of those, right? You're gonna maybe build 2 helmets in the entire course of your playthrough. So why prioritize having something that you only need once and can likely just in junk book enchants come across. Respiration falls into the same deal, but at a low price. If it's level 3, see, a level 1, never gonna buy it. But if that was a level 3, so the max level that's available at it, yeah, I may pick that up as a book. It means that I can Feather falling goes higher than 3, so that's not a max. And I didn't look at any of the enchants. I know we talked about was feather falling maxed at 4 or 5. Still not sure. If we see a 5, we're going to lock it in though, and that's one that we would take it a max. So here it is, Mending. 30. It's a little higher than I really like to pay. You can get that in the high teens, I know, but we're not gonna mess around with missing it. We'll take it once to lock it in, and for now, call that very good, and we'll be very happy about having it, because in getting that, we have a source. We don't have to rely on RNG to see it again. And now if it pops again at a lower price, even better. We can lock it in again. I will build plenty of villagers. And, if it's 1 cheaper, yeah, who cares? But, if it's 16 or 17 instead of 30, for sure we'll buy another bending villager and just expand this base. So this one is at 30. It's good to just note the prices, because that does give us a quick reference, and we're well on our way. Again, that is one of, we want to put mending on absolutely everything that can take it, because we don't want to have to replace anything. We want to just keep adding to our supply of tools, not replacing them like we do with the iron axes. And what I was going to check with him, because I forgot, he does not have paper. At some point, one of these guys will do paper as well as their book, but so far not. And he's doing paper now, but without a book, and we don't want that either. We love to have at least one guy that offers both a book we want and buys paper. Those are the ones that we can level up of the librarians, except for Unbreaking 3, Efficiency, and Mending. Just over time, we will buy enough of those books to eventually level those guys. I'm really surprised I'm getting... so that was Vanishing. Those are the 2 cursed books. I think we saw them early, one or the other at least, in the first or second episode. We will never have to worry about locking in looting 3 again. I would like one more copy of that book at some point, because eventually we want a smite sword. But as we do more enchanting at the table too, we'll happily take it on a book if we see it offered, and just hold it until we need it. That's what I was talking about with them stepping in as you're placing this is why we make your spot 3 deep. Sometimes you get a little obstinate and want to stand in the worst possible spot. Of course you went to bed. Well, very good. Having Mending locked in is, that used to be the only... I remember early on, like, man, people do this really... I'm sure I blew through so many great books, but, I was like, I can get anything else from enchanting. All I need is Mending. And slowly that evolved to, I need Unbreaking now. And it was long after I'd made minimal efforts with some of these guys that I started seeing some videos where it was like, oh, wow, you can really make full villager trading centers. I think the first time I really ever saw it was with some of the hermits, but I didn't see the point in a single player game, because they were, they had a whole emerald based economy. This was probably way back, some of those first, probably seasons 5, 6, something like that of Hermitcraft, where you could go in and buy books from stores that some of them had built, and they didn't tend to be the individuals that I watched a whole lot of Hermitcraft from, but I became aware, and I was like, man, that seems like a ton of work, and it didn't really click for me as to how you made that happen naturally. So I didn't give it a lot of thought. And for a while, I remember, I was aware of mending and I knew it was out there, but I was kind of opposed to it. I was like, that's crazy. I want my experience so that I can enchant and not have it get stolen. And part of that was from the early on kind of flaw of mending, that your healthy stuff would steal it. So, if we have mending on all of these things, then say my chest plate was at full strength and it had mending, it's still going to take experience whenever I get it, and so I'm going to level up more slowly when all of these are equipped and I'm just out doing my thing in the world. So that was part of why I didn't really get into the villager trades early on. And then even when I did, like I said, it was once I discovered how good mending could be, I was still content to grind enchantments and just supplement with mending. And, I'd do books and books and books and books and books by RNG on the enchanting table, trying to get all the pieces and merge them there. And it would, I'd have one or two, even in villages sometimes, where if I finally found a mending, I would lock them there. So this is relatively recent. Certainly, and that's relative because I've been doing it for a while now, as you may guess, just from the layout. It's familiar, but it's certainly nice when you have it up and going. But we need to focus on two more very important enchants before we even think about looking at. This is one we'll take. It's not one of the top needs, but that's the advantage of having a reliable source of emeralds. We'll go ahead and grab this. Power 5 for our bows. As I said, unlike swords, bows won't have mending, and so having a top level bow enchant, and we can even, throw that one on here, that will really help out long term in our ability to build replacement bows, because those will slowly but surely be consumed. So now, unfortunately, our available pool of librarians is used up, so we gotta move into the next batch here. We're equipped, we just need unemployed adults to entice in. We got one kid there and another kid, not adult. Yeah, you're a kid over here, right? And we actually have multiple kids, so they must have bred based on the bed availability. So we'll just have to, again, wait for night. That was a pretty quick one, and move them over. But while we're here and people are up and we're just waiting, let's go ahead and take a couple more mendings. We won't just rush to buy, as many as we can get. But while we're just in these kind of waits in between, we'll go ahead and equip on the stuff that we already have enchanted and is ready for it. And I think our chest armor is one of those. Our sword and our silk touch axe are all prime candidates for getting the mending enchant already. Those will all benefit well. They're all well on their way, and will be well served with the mending. And really, once anything has its its RNG enchantment from the table, Mending is then valid. It's so powerful and good in terms of letting us easily use the best tier tools available to us that we'll just go ahead and do it. And now that we have Mending, depending on what we see as available enchantments here, we may even take a efficiency 4 or 5 just as our roll, or a silk. No, we've got silk touch, so we don't even need that. So if we see a high efficiency, we may just go ahead and grab that, throw a Mending on it, and start using it to push for diamonds more quickly, knowing that we'll still need a fortune eventually, but just the speed at which it will allow us to go find some would be worthwhile. At least it's getting to that point where we can tip that scale pretty quickly. So hopefully no completely random questions there or anything completely out of line with what we've kind of been setting the expectations for, but that is the plan. We're now just running down to our anvil, and we could certainly set one up back at the villager outpost too, just so as we grab books, if it's just a single thing. So again, we really want Unbreaking 3 next for our sword, so it's not losing durability as quickly. That'll stop it from eating quite as much of our EXP, but it also won't further degrade, which is the whole idea. So the other thing that we want to do is get our chest mending, and chest is good at that point. Again, thorns is an option, but I prefer not to use it. The reason I prefer not to is my animals. When I'm harvesting cows and chickens, if you have horns, that can thorns, not horns. Horns too. Cows may be opposed. They've got horns. They may see you as a rival and start to spar. But with thorns, it can. If one of them got partially hit or something, that could do it. The other is with just the possibility of being around a golem or an enderman or something, that if you were fighting one, took a piece of damage, and then incurred the anger of others around you, all those could go bad. So I don't like the lack of control of thorns on my chest. It's just one and maybe years later I'll be like, why didn't I just do that? But the few times I've had it, I've run into places where it was applying damage I didn't want it. So we'll leave it at that. But our bow, once we have Unbreaking for it, will benefit. But for now, we're at max power on our bow. Punch damage is nice too. You can knock individuals back, and eventually flame on a bow I think is almost a requirement. It's not essential, and I don't care about the damage. In fact, for the advancement of long distance bow use, whatever they call it, it's a little bit trolly, because if you don't fully kill them on the shot, then the flame will kill the distant skeleton and you don't get credit. On the flip side, the flame is nice for pillagers for that, because you can avoid getting the curse from the bannermen by just letting the fire do the work after you've taken their hearts down by shooting them. Anyway, man, we are so good having that mending. So that took us back down. We'll need to do some more trading to pop that back up again. But again, we need our unemployed villagers to grow up a little bit, and I'm willing to wait just a bit to roll 2 more sets of librarians to see what we can get. Once we've done that, then we'll maybe go do some kind of adventuring, see if we can grow some experience. Gather some bees would be a worthy trip. Again, we want diamonds. We're to the point now where heading into the Nether is full go. I have no concerns. I will have concerns in the Nether. It's a whole new level of danger, and we'll be respectful of it. But equipped as we are now, we're ready. There's nothing to keep us from getting in there. But depending on what these next two enchantments are, we'll be even more ready, and that will be a great source of experience once we get in there. So we're well on our way to getting out of some of this kind of grind to new grinds. There's always a different grind. Minecraft is, unless you're just, speedrunner, go, 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 and then wonder, why am I bored of this game? Why can other people have fun playing it and I don't? That's why. Alright, go find a bed. I don't know why they get stuck on this gate. There's the two gates that we've seen individuals get stuck on, but oh well. So none of those guys grew up yet. Power, sharpness. The power's real good. The sharpness, Silk touch, real good. Mending, obviously. We just used 3 of them. Oh, wow. You grew up in the middle of the night? I didn't even know that was possible, but that's awesome. So happy. Are either of you going to grow up in the middle of the night? Little. I'm not going to stand around hoping. We've got one to work with tomorrow, so let's just sleep and get back after it. But again, regardless of what we find from this fine gentleman, and I'm going to go around just to prevent any potential goose. Oh, and we need to get all the stuff. Da da da. Okay. Unless it's unbreaking or efficiency, very likely we're going to have to go get levels before we can even really do much book application, right? We're at 18 now. Each of those, 3 to 5 type cost to apply. And we can't do any enchantment even now. So we're going to need levels. And I think very likely the Nether will be the place that we'll get those. And you never know with the Nether. The spawn in the Nether can so change how that whole experience goes. It's it's almost like starting a whole new world nowadays when you drop into the Nether for the first time. Your height, the biome, anything that you have in sight. Again, it's kind of like Aqua Affinity, and Depth Strider 3 is awesome. I love being able to move quickly underwater, but Flame, same thing. Flame, awesome, and that's bows, so we could certainly reuse that, but for now I can live without it, even if the price goes up. See, this is what I was talking about. So we get a new Mending now. It's a little cheaper, but not so much that I'm going to take it. 2 emeralds per. We're going to have a lot. Prot 4. Very interesting. This is a max level. We would, even if we get a piece that we fully enchant with a fire prot, that's really only useful in the Nether. Prot 4 is useful everywhere, and we could use 4 of those over time, and 40 is a great price. I'm very tempted. Once we use it, though, we use it the 4 times. It's done. Maybe 7, right? No, not even. It would only be three total uses because we've got one and we don't need the rest. But it makes the table trolley on for my hat and my boots. It's great because it means I can exclusively roll for Respiration 3, Feather Falling 4, and see if those are. Once I see those, just grab them without a second thought because we'll have to reset if we get a blast or a fire or any of that kind of stuff. But as long as they roll with a low level prot or nothing, an unbreaking or something, we can just apply these and we're done. Yeah, well, let's just do it. It would be nice if you had paper. That would make it a sure deal. But once we have it, we've got it, and now we never have to think about it again. So, thank you, sir. All done with you. And like I said, the first time we'll really look to apply that will be after we've leveled back up, because we want to get the enchant table stuff first and then just cap those off with the highest level protection. And again, that's universal damage, so we'll be aided in any kind of attack. Oh, look, you got flour. Nice. That's very sweet of you to offer. You're giving it to the kids and they're ignoring you? I'm sorry, man. I know you'd walk around and try to be nice to them if you could, but... Alright, so we're close. I'm just looking around to see if we have any... any more unemployed adults. Let's get another bed. I'm not gonna. In fact, let's make all the beds. Here. I wonder why they showed 2 beds. That's weird. Okay, so we got a good stock of beds. We'll just dump them back in here for the most part. We'll keep 3, 1 for me and 2 more to place. When we get tonight, we'll hope that some of the rest of these settle in. And it looks like we got a couple out. I don't know that we have enough food to keep going to you guys, but I do hope they'll keep producing more little guys. We need little guys. But we have room for the 2 more beds before we have to do any more digging. And yeah, now we're just waiting for them to pop to adulthood. It's a little odd, but maybe we can do some more digging while we're waiting here. Always try to get something working while you're waiting. I need to go. Those 2. Just while I have the shovel, try to detect where of this dirt needs to go. Get it gone early. These will be stone. This is all going to be stone floor. These stone under the gate. That'll be an oak panel. Yeah, I'd love to trade with you guys, just so you know. Alright, this is our dark oak post hole. These three are going to be our ceiling. And again, we're getting so close to silk touch picks. We can start just pulling stone. That's going to save any of the cook time. We can do more with a little less unappealing building materials at our disposal. And this is just really trying to kill time more than anything else. So we won't worry too terribly much about the productivity of it all, but man, it would be nice if somebody... Oh, see, he grew up, so now we gotta wait for night, but we'll have a librarian ready tomorrow, which is nice. And in the meantime, we should have this new bedroom ready to go. There's those two, that. Pop these two down here. Pop a gate. Boom. Didn't grab lanterns. One lantern. Anytime. Go ahead and go to bed. It's funny. Sometimes you feel like you're just waiting for daytime. You can't believe how quickly they go to sleep. And then when you want them to, they're always busy with something else. We do need some panels here. Oh my goodness, we need panels here too. Could have missed that. Ceiling. Already carved it out, but we didn't fill it. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, looking good. They kind of just build themselves. Alright, you are good. So we'll open this gate. Let you come to your new bed. Go on. Go get it. Close you back in. No, you're going the wrong way, sir. There are available beds, but you have to find them. You want that one? I'm going to break it. If you're stuck looking there. Now. I know. I took it away. Go find the other bed. Oh my goodness. It's always something. Go on. Do you want me to open this door? Will that help? Find a new option. Go on. Over here. So where I always worry that they... what the proximity is to a bed. Oh, stay shut. Okay. Now you look like you're on your way. No, not quite. Come on, there's one over here. Follow me. Look, it's a nice bed. There you go. Good job, buddy. Excellent. Now we can go put this bed back. Hopefully that will inspire some additional villagers without more food. But we're, they've been doing well, so we can expect expect a little slowdown. We got one more growing up. Once he does in there, we'll move him out and get him a job. Let's use the evening just to finish out this next room here. And eventually we can expand on that side. I know we need, we've got beds and everything. This is really just a time killer before I go to bed and get them ready for the next day. But having taken the prop for, we're going to come across a couple more that, obviously infinity we're going to want eventually a flame. But until we get to that point, we really want to keep expanding beds, because always efficiency and I guess I don't need any of that. Efficiency and unbreaking are ones we really need. Eventually a smite isn't necessary, but once you get to a point where you've got all the essentials covered, or are just rolling and willing to take some other stuff, you start getting a little more tolerant. That was too early. Do we want a loyalty to have ready? Eventually that's something we're going to need for tridents, but how soon do you take it, and do you wait? The fishing ones I haven't ever really been too tempted to take, but there are possibilities. There's lots of different potential good fits, so we shall see. Now, we need light, we need a gate, which we've got. Mainly we need planks, and I keep leaving that going, until I get an axe. I've got an axe. What? I don't know why sometimes, whether it's, a perceived misclick, and I'm not saying I'm flawless or anything, but why does it sometimes not register or not swap out those tools when I think it should have? Okay, we got planks and planks, and we need slabs. We've also got axes that we can combine. What am I doing? Boom. Whole lot of slabs. Remember when I thought I'd made too many slabs to ever need, and look, we've got to the point of needing more. So, looking good. Floor and walls are stone, sealed. Got a gate. We can equip those. I guess we can go ahead now because we have these two set. So why not, right? It's just. Oh, that's what I want to do. I want them here, and this is just me keeping a pattern. I think they like having little sleeping buddies on the other side of the wall. They can kind of chat with while they're chilling and falling asleep, but none of that really, that's just goofing around and that kind of stuff. So I don't see missing torches. I don't see missing slabs. I think we'll keep those two shut for the moment, but yeah, I think we're ready for another day of Trying to get good trades. Oh, let's just clean up this stuff first. So, what do we got? Cobble. Let's cook our next full stack. Give us more stone. We don't need it all. Maybe keep the full. Let's go ahead and put a lot of random little extras after having just built a bunch of these, but we want the signs. We want the axe for our lecterns. On our lecterns, we got books and emeralds. So I think we're doing pretty well. We can dump extras there. Hold on to that. Yeah, I think we're ready for another day. So sleep, reset them. Now you could possibly make this go just a little bit quicker if you were really looking to. I think you're our last. I think we put the protection over here, so you're our last guy. We're gonna hang out, spend the day together. Hopefully not. You know, if you give me something good early, I don't have to worry about it. But what were the odds of that? And of course, it gets slower as you go because there's less appealing options. The first time, there's so many good choices. Flame for 5. There's stuff we need more, and we're gonna keep working together until we get it. Peeling. Yeah. That was a book with paper. Channeling. That is as appealing as flame. Maybe a little less. It will infuse a trident with lightning and is needed for a particular advancement. But is another one that you need once. That's another one you need once, but it's really tempting because it's a level 3. We could be ages from having a trident, so we're not gonna worry about it until we need it. Respiration, awesome, tempting, but having done things like Prot 4, now I'm more likely to end up with respiration off the table. Paling 5, very tempting again because it's a 5th level, but it's at 64. No way I need to lock that in for a 1 or 2 time deal without a trident. You were trying to throw everything at me, aren't you? You're like, hey, this guy, we can hold him out. That one, if it wasn't a one-time use, the price was right. 43 for Smite 5. Really good, but unfortunately, we need to not surround him in lecterns. That's for sure. In case you can't tell, despite temptation, I'm really trying to hold out for either Unbreaking 3 or Efficiency 5. They're what we need, and there's not much right now that's going to rival me getting one or the other of those two. I've seen most of what is tempting at this point. Super low cost Mending would do it, even though we already have access, and it's not terribly expensive as we do. Getting a low to mid-teens price on Mending, that would do it. Yeah. eventually there's just not much to not much to talk about. This is the kind of time when I particularly look forward to doing some live streaming. It's it's so repetitive that having somebody to talk to, or just engage with, even if it's just enduring repeated abuse. That's probably I forget how much we paid for Silk Touch over here. None of them are so prohibitively expensive that it was even cheaper. So never. I'm just curious, something to do while break the monotony. But like I said, these are the moments when having a live community to chat with. As I yawn, I think that was an oxygen yawn, but I hopefully stifled it so it didn't break through the open mic too much. Affinity for 16 again. Very tempting, especially now that our bow has power 5, but we'll see it. I know we'll see that again more readily than we will these top level, either top level efficiency or unbreaking. Nope. Nope. Not at all. It's interesting how few... Why is he so slippery? Dude, just stand still and give me good trades. Don't dodge. I'm not trying to hurt you. Like, every time he starts jumping and jiving. But what I was going to say is it's interesting how few have been the paper and book. Because I still don't know that we have. Man, oh man. I don't know where these stifled yawns are coming from. But I'm sure it has something to do with this just endlessly staring at... Yeah, that might do it. 10 for Mending? That's a 3 for 1 off you, dude. You understand that? Oh, not you. Sorry, man. We like your Silk Touch. No, you over here, sir. You were at 30, not 20. Buddy, you found the one I couldn't refuse. And again, no paper. What? Whatever. Give me some Mending. It's that kind of stuff that makes you go, man, why did I buy so many of them earlier? But I'm happy to have them. That's Mending at 10 is fantastic. Good job. Happy to do business with you, sir. So now we're no closer to having our full stuff, but man, oh man, that's we're not going to beat that price. So we'll take it and lock that away. Now you, good sir. And you can't edit signs that have writing on them already. You have to break and replace. So that's kind of something to get used to. And it, for prices and things like that, it's a little bit of a pain, but whatever. I'm just marking this one so that that we know not to buy. Out of habit, we don't want to buy back now that we have a much better option. So $10 mending. That's awesome. Now we need to hope that our unemployed homie grew up. Can you... It's a risk. Go on, go get a job. Damn it. Excuse me. That's, Oh, no. There you go. Good, 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 good. Now come down here. Come on. That's why you didn't hurry. Come get a job. Hey, buddy. Get a job. Get a job. Get a job. Come on. Perfect. So that keeps us in business here. I did not see if there's another young, so this guy may be our last chance before we have to, wait for more food. I should have looked at that. It's a bad habit. Who knows what awesome thing we just missed. If a tree falls in the woods type stuff, that's another one. Sweeping Edge 3 at 18 is pretty appealing. That allows your sword to hit multiple enemies at once. But, as I said, that one's not going to make or break or open up options within the game for us. So, until we really get the efficiency in the unbreaking, I have to pass, and we may end up paying more for it later when we do try to set that one up, but I just have to hope for one or the other of those two at this point. We've gotten some... Oh, you need to go to bed, though. So, we're gonna let you sleep. Oh, here, we need to give you the... Because now he's trying to go back to his old bed. So there should be one vacant in the farmer area. Now, did that make him go to bed? Yep. So some of these problems we can solve, or puzzles. Okay, now do we have another young... No. So they need food to keep producing. But we've got all our gear here. I'm not going to work through the night or anything. I'm just going to sleep. See if we can't get one or the other of those two more enchants that we need. We've done pretty darn well today, and it's been pretty efficient. If we go through, I say this, and I've certainly had to pull this before. If we go through a whole day and don't get either one, we're going to move on to other stuff. Because at that point, we can't just sit and, without having young, new guys coming, we can't just... Well, we could, that's the beauty of Minecraft, right? You can play it however you want. We could sit here for a week and just keep rolling and rolling and rolling. But as far as I know, there's no assurance that you're going to see any particular trade offered. So, you may just get a string of bad luck, and it's not worth endlessly trying without having other things making progress. So we'll let these guys kind of sit as is and go, focus on trying to get some more diamonds and letting our crops process and flip one more time. Back at base, just find stuff to do around there so that we can get more villagers going. It's the cycle, right? Get more villagers so that we have more guys and, suddenly have more ability to just, hey, Aqua Affinity, that seems like a good one, grab it. The more ready villagers you have, the more willing you are to keep moving and grabbing other trades. And, at least for the mental game, knowing that you're progressing through and opening up other stuff makes the constant rolling for specific trades pretty pretty tolerable. And it's the piece, I know live streamers have that benefit of, hang on one second. Oh, that was kind of a loud swallow. I hope I didn't pick that up. I didn't bother to play into the video to see how my experiments of drinking with the mic lifted played out on the video. So I apologize if there was noise there. But I need to wet the whistle while we're killing this time. Another thing I probably should have done at night, not while we're in our valuable break-in-place mode. And this guy is just, like the last one, he's just trying to be difficult. I get you want to talk to the friends, but stop getting in my face each time I plant this thing. Let's get a couple without having to move in a row. Multi-shot. Now, I haven't even seen that one yet, I don't think. That's a crossbow enchant. Let you shoot multiple arrows at once. Again, infinity is getting tempting, and 13 is a much better price. I believe with infinity you can go down below 10. And I sort of like Silk Touch. You see it enough that it does go. The one that we haven't seen yet, and I certainly, I keep talking, I'm only going to take efficiency or unbreaking, blah, blah, blah. If we see a Fortune 3, I would just flat out take that, even if I end up building the whole pick myself, because we'll also use it on a hoe. I'd go ahead and take it, and then eventually, I don't even know if there's an application, but just to have one, I'd make a Fortune. So again, sweeping edge at 16. They hear me talking, and they're like, "Oh, really? You take a Fortune 3? How about a sweeping edge 3? I'll give it to you even cheaper than 18. How about 16?" It's willpower, not just jumping for the quick and easy. Well, I don't know what to say, sir, but you got 3 options now. I told you: Fortune 3, Efficiency 5, Unbreaking 3. God, you tell me which one you want to sell me. Not channeling. And I don't know. He's just... Some of them seem so easy, and some of them just... Man, it seems like their AI is just designed to troll you. Like, just chill, man. I don't even really want to say this, but I'll share it with you. I was just going to say easily the best thing so far is that I haven't hit one with an axe. Fortunately, our golem is over there kind of locked up, and they haven't spawned more. But bad day is when it's bad enough to hit one with an axe, right? Because all the guys around, when they gossip, they'll all raise their prices. They don't like it. I can't do it. It's way too expensive. We're only going to use it once, and even though I haven't looked it up, I'm pretty sure 4 is the top of feather falling. If it isn't, we can combine, but I'm not paying 55, and I gotta have some good things out of the books. And again, as I said with the helmet, once you have the prop 4 in librarian form, it frees you up to hold for better enchants on the table for some of those items too, the armor, when you're trying to build it up. So let's see. Riptide is one I never use. It goes on a trident. It makes you fly in the rain, I think, is the way that's supposed to work. If we get to the point of actually needing to farm tridents Oh, stop tempting me. But that reinforces it. We've seen Infinity like 3 or 4 times already now. 10 is a great price. It may go lower in, we may see one for even later when we start actually looking for it, but it just, we don't need it that badly yet. We will, and I'll enjoy it, but you gotta hold out or you'll never see the good ones. And knowing that we don't have a steady stream of new villagers coming at the moment, we gotta stick with this guy. Someday you'll give us one of the two, or you'll go to bed and we'll go harvest crops to replace you effectively. Fire Prop 4 would, well, I think Fire Prop goes up to 5, so that wouldn't even be appealing. But of any of them, a top tier Fire Prop actually isn't too terrible because it, of all the types, like I'd mentioned at some point, you may want to make a secondary set of armor with 1 or 2 fire prop pieces in it, and those can certainly help out in the nether if you're mining for netherite or something that you're going to be down below the lava lake levels. You get enough of that stacked up, and you really don't have to worry about working under the lava. The problem is, if you're doing that, you're then very vulnerable if a ghast pops and hits you with an explosion, right? You've lost the generic prot. You still have the base diamond armor value, so you're not, completely helpless, but you've lost the generic protection, and if a blaze starts shooting fire arrows at you, the fire part won't be bad, but the projectile will be bad. The blasts from the ghast will be bad. A brute that just comes running at you and starts hitting one of those guys are mean with those axes. So there are a lot of potential damages by committing to that fire. Okay, so you failed, dude. I'm sorry. I had hoped that we would come to a better agreement, but we're not wasting another day with you. So, this stuff away will pull the mending. Not that I have a need for it right at the moment, but we may well do soon. More emeralds here. Well, I'm bummed. I'd hope to find something good. What? Oh, that's the prop 4. Might as well pull that back to, it's a little easier to store them here, but it, it's okay. We'll deal. I don't know what it is. I took the boat ride opportunity to take another sip of that coffee, and I clanked my tooth again. Again, it's not hard. I'm not doing any damage to myself, but I don't know if it's something about the headset or what is causing me to have this. And the other part is, even with insulated mugs, I'm now, I think this coffee is pushing 10 hours, 12, 14 hours old. I don't know when I made it exactly. It was pretty early in the morning, and it's been a long time. It's just sitting here, and I'm like, oh, that looks kind of good. It's, I don't mind old coffee. Often I'll let it sit, and I don't particularly notice that it, it's aged out. Some people are very sensitive to that and will, say, "Oh, I now can't drink this coffee. I gotta have fresh." The temperature is a little bit weird. I do like my coffee at least warm. It doesn't have to be scalding hot necessarily, but I'm not a tea. Drink hot or iced. That really doesn't matter. But I'm not a huge iced coffee person. I'd prefer to have it as a little flavor is okay, but simple black coffee without cream or sugar, and even if I go to a Starbucks or something, for me, it's a real easy and relatively cheap. Hey, can you give me a venti pike place? They kind of look at you like, yeah, we got that. That's cool. And I think they appreciate it because it's, I didn't just give you 1,800 complex and very specific instructions on how I wanted my drink of coffee made. I just want a cup of coffee. Can you do that? And they're very happy to. It's nice. So, it's morning. We're here. We got a creeper over there. Let's do the superior exit. He is coming around. That's the advantage of our Power 5 boat. We got 2 of them. Boom. Haha! Take that. Welcome to the big leagues, buddy. We got a Power 5 bow now. And I remember your relative chasing me around. I don't know why he was throwing those when he wasn't even in range. That's weird. But we get some bottles. It's kind of cool. Not enough to be worth much. They're kind of junk, and with bottles, if you're not even up to 3, you're kind of wasting my time. So we're gonna run a lap around here. I think we're not close enough to really harvest, but now that our beets are fully planted, there's no reason to go back. Yeah, we could, maybe chop what melons and pumpkins are there, but at the moment we need villagers more than we need the produce, and that's silly. We always need the produce, but time-wise, I'd rather drop down into the lower realms and see if we can't pick up a few more diamonds. Just to round things out. Now let's see if we can get you to come in. That's the combination of Power 5 and Sharp 5. Definitely makes quick work. At this point, night isn't a big deal. We're going to want to watch our bow a little bit without unbreaking and without infinity. It'll be tempting to use it more now. You got a better chance of one-shot kills, and we can blow through arrows pretty quick. So we'll keep an eye on that and its durability. But we'll be all right. That and that go there. You come down here. We're gonna need some more picks. And like I said, I'm not opposed to loading up that diamond pick and just going after it. But I would want to be up to level first, get something on it, throw on a silk touch, and then mine. I'm not just gonna waste it for the sake of wasting it, because there's no absolute guarantee that we would find any diamonds. Hopefully, the odds are we would find some, but that doesn't mean you just intentionally waste it. And again, I'd like bees too, but at the moment, it makes more sense to go looking for diamonds and pushing that angle than it does to just just go on a trip looking for bees when we know our crops won't then grow. And while we're waiting for more potatoes and carrots to feed villagers to breed more villagers, that's a little counterproductive. So we will just do another one of these guys. And again, we're so close now. Even the grind of doing this doesn't feel as bad because I know we're now Minecraft moments away from being set up where this is silk touch and efficiency and unbreaking, and we're just cruising. So we'll savor the slow mining experience, the wondering when it will end kind of deal. I was going to say, I hope we're going to come to the end of this room. Good. Now we'll just pop these two out. I'm not going to do the full room here. I'd rather get the diamonds and start digging. But as we saw in the oops of the torch placement in the other one, it's nice to just have the sight lines through this chunk of rock. And eventually we'll hollow all that out. But like I said, we're tantalizingly close to getting better tools, and the most direct path to doing that is the additional villagers, and extending this one out for a couple hundred blocks is going to be the prolonged time under the farms that will help us do that most efficiently. So this is the time to do it, and that's what we're going to do. And fingers crossed, we'll just happen. I hear some skellies, so we've got unopened caves somewhere around here. Maybe up above. And a lot of these you never actually see. You'll just hear them and kind of get close, but not contact with them. And yeah, it's some kind of cave. It's got both skeletons and zombies in it, and it's almost worth looking around to see if we can poke our heads into it. Now that we got better sword and the cool bow. It's all tempting. I would, I'm going to try to remind myself to be sparing with the bow. It was fun to take out that witch and the creepers. I got it. But I really prefer at the moment to save that for the nether. Between blazes and ghasts, whatever durability we have on that power 5 is to be prized for a moment. So we'll just do our best there. Now, we can always buy a new Power 5 now, because it's one of the ones we have, but I don't want to run in the nether carrying around 2 bows, and we're already going to have to carry arrows until we decide to buy one of the infinity stacks. Not crazy, am I? Maybe I am, but I'm not miscounting crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So yeah, that's the fun stuff to know we're on the brink of. And once we've exhausted this little mine trip and gone back and hopefully, harvested our potatoes and carrots and gone back and fingers crossed gotten one or the other of those good enchantments, then we'll quickly here go poke our head into the Nether and see what we got going on there. I think that would be a pretty fun thing to do. We'll need a couple things out of the Nether as early priorities. We need to find what's called a Nether fortress or stronghold. I think they're technically fortresses, and there are structures that exist there. Kind of mazy, they're not buried or anything, but they're kind of a mazy dungeon type building once you get into them. And they usually will feature a blaze spawner, so we can farm a few of these fiery floating kind of demony things, and by doing so obtain blaze rods, and we need those to power our brewing stand. We had looked at one of those in the village and said, he's a fraud. He doesn't even have a brewing stand. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff that we need. Also, to brew, before we can make any other kind of potion, we need Netherwort, which is a fungusy kind of thing that grows only in sand and soil type stuff that you get out of the Nether. And that is, again, something we'll be specifically hunting for. We need the fortress, and it doesn't happen in every fortress. It's one of the worst. Oh man, is you gotta hunt around for these fortresses first, and you could go a bunch of blocks looking for just your first sign of a fortress, and you find it, you hunt your way through it, you twist and turn through this maze, only to find that it doesn't have any Netherwort in it. Man, that's a bad day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, that's those are on the to-do list. This was our old cave area, and I don't have a real particular target length in mind, but I think we'll just kind of push forward with our iron axes, and maybe use a bit of diamond depending on what we see coming back or what we passed over. Maybe pick up a few things with a diamond on the way back, but like I said, until we've got enough levels to enchant it, I don't want to just waste its robust but not infinite durability. So, well, a little bit like the silk axe until we got mending on it. It's not worth using it for things other than the task you need it for until you really get going. And again, we still have yet to even see a Fortune 3, so or much of any fortune. I think we saw one low fortune when we were first at the enchanting table, but that's one the game seems to be holding back. But I won't complain about that if we can find an unbreaking or an efficiency. Those would be top priorities, in case that wasn't abundantly clear at this point. So we got one more here. Boom. And we're going. exciting news from real life. I successfully swallowed some coffee without bumping my tooth, and it's no warmer than it was the last time. But I've almost finished the last little bit that was in the cup. So frankly, it's a little later than I typically drink coffee. It's a Sunday. I don't have to be up particularly early, but it's interesting. I know everybody goes through this. Some people are more prone to it than others. I still, some people talk about falling asleep is tough. I've never had a problem falling asleep. I like to read, and even, when you're most active or going to bed after having been out doing something late, and, you're still up and wide awake, I can selectively choose a drier history or something like that, and pretty confidently put myself out within a few textbook type pages of reading. That's no problem at all. Nowadays, though, especially if I've had caffeine late, I do find, if I then wake up and am up, and that certainly can happen in an apartment type environment. I'm on the side that kind of faces out to the parking area. So, hey man, everybody lives their life. I'm certainly, and virus hasn't helped, but while I'm fortunate not to have to work in the middle of the night, I do, I do come and go at different hours, and I certainly liking to get up early and walk. I try not to slam doors or anything like that, but I'm up and moving and in the kind of the breezeway between the different units when I do that. So I don't get upset at anybody for living their lives or making noise. That doesn't bother me a whole lot. But sometimes, a plow that when it snows like it did the other day, and this doesn't impact so much the going back to sleep for the night, but you get a few sloppy inches of snow that's going to melt in the middle of the night, and I appreciate the services that we have around here. They do a really good job of maintaining the property and taking care of us around here, but you sometimes have to wonder, like, do we really need to plow the parking lot at 4 a.m. just just for a couple inches of snow in the springtime? But yeah, you hear the plow blade or something, a car door slam or somebody accidentally setting off their alarm, any of that kind of stuff. You wake up in the middle of the night, and when you've had caffeine later in the day like that, I now really struggle once I've woken up after I've been asleep to get back to sleep. That's the challenge I never anticipated as a kid. Adults, they all talk about, you can't sleep, blah, 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 blah. Why would you ever, why don't you just have fewer issues in your life? And, certainly when you're dealing with something stressful, that doesn't help, but it's rarely that I'm struggling to go back to sleep because I'm distressed about something. It's usually just, you wake up and you bolt up like, oh man, now I'm up. What time? Oh man, it's it's 2:30 in the morning. Why am I awake now? What? And then, you try to close your eyes. Even usually at that point, if I try to read, I'm like, no man, my eyes don't want to deal with that. My brain is still too awake, and it would do it, but the eyes don't want to stare at a book page, and that's the stuff. That's why I avoid caffeine. So we'll hopefully no ill effects tonight, but I guess that's the risk you're on. But man, that coffee was right here, and I just gravitated to it. Maybe I'll do something this evening, and I'm a little bit. I've embraced the homebody of pandemic. I'm at that age, and my hobbies and stuff are such that I don't mind. Oh, what? I got to spend a few months not having to go out and do stuff and have an excuse to do some of the hobbies and things that I enjoy. I'm down. Sign me up. So I'm one of those few people. It's like, yeah, I want the convenience of being able to shop, and those kind of things in person. While I'm in no rush to go back inside a restaurant, I think some of the people that are like, oh yeah, I got a vaccine. Why do I need a mask or anything? You're crazy. Just calm down. I can pick and choose my dining to go outdoors. I don't need to go sit in a space that a ton of people have been eating and drinking without masks on at tables. Yeah, the tables maybe 6 feet apart, whatever, but everybody's sitting and talking and hanging out with friends, and they linger, and then the next thing you know, you've got those same tables. Yeah, most places that I've been to are very conscientious about wiping everything down between seatings, and that's awesome. But when you're indoors like that, and those places are filled with people from open to close kind of stuff, and they're making money based on turning tables. That's the whole restaurant gig, right? You don't want them to sit vacant. So, and after everything that the restaurant industries have been through, they definitely deserve a chance to do a thriving business and seize it's kind of the hype of a launch of a game or something like that, with as summer comes back and people are excited and feeling a little more confident about going out, they deserve to have that full opportunity to make money. And I get some people's comfort says, yeah, bring on what I remember. I want to be back in a restaurant, particularly younger people who, despite the exceptions out there, they're the ones that are like, yeah, worst case, I get it. I'm sick for a while. It's like it's like the flu, but it's probably not going to put me in the hospital. I think, all of us, no matter our age, even at the vulnerable ages, we all suffer, that little sense of immortality. Like, yeah, I'm healthy. I do all the right stuff. I'm not going to be the one that ends up in a hospital just because I get this thing. So probably thought all the people that unfortunately did get it, and I would prefer to, as I've said before, prefer to just continue to suffer a little bit, persevere, and get people safe and over this particular challenge to humanity. Let's get in the whole globe. Let's make sure that people get that. And even if you've got a vaccine, just by not having it and not potentially transmitting it, I think all the countries that are not as affluent as the United States or Western Europe, the places where people don't just have computers in their home for luxury. They may not have access to clean drinking water and electricity and things like that. So, if we can just continue to limit our own pleasure, and that's what it is. It's we want to go to baseball games. We want to go to eat in restaurants in the middle of summer. We want to go to parties and all that kind of stuff. I get it. I want to too. But I also, think of places, Asia, maybe the Caribbean islands or South America or Africa, where the communities don't have that same infrastructure. And here we're running campaigns to convince people to take a vaccine that they know they should take. Why am I going the wrong way? Man, oh man. Why on earth, when our country has made these available to us for free, and I get some people have real real concerns about vaccines, but I think people are going out of their way to be forthcoming and test and reassure and give recourse to people that may have adverse effects. But if it's a political deal where it's my right, my freedom, okay, that's also what kids say when they you take away their toys or something. Let's just do it for the people that don't have the option. Yeah, I don't mean to get preachy either. I'm sorry. If you have other opinions, I will respect your right to have those and go. But it's a desire to just let this thing die out and not so rushed that it keeps having chances to come back around and back around and back around. Kind of long-winded, and sorry about that. We didn't get any more diamonds. A bummer. But we sure did wear through those iron picks, didn't we? This cobble is going to start to become more and more of a problem as we go surging out, and that's part of why I keep expanding a little bit. Because when you think it's bad now, the nether is even worse. You get so much of that netherite garbage piling up that before we do that, we'll probably need just at least, it doesn't have to be a full system, but at least a spot where we can just throw down some junk chests and keep ourselves going. Excuse me. So while we're doing that, let's block up our redstones. Unlike the lapis, I don't think we're going to turn right on and be, oh man, I need a bunch of redstone dust. So for the sake of storage there, shift. Okay, now just do that. We'll run rows of redstone blocks. By the time we may need any, we'll have loads of those. So let's hope that our something in our crops has grown while we were down there. The melons seem to be doing good from a distance. We're getting there. It's certainly better than it was when we last ran our little loop around here. So I don't think those efforts are wasted to do some mining, but I think we have enough to justify one of these. With our fancy new axe. Now with the mending on this, any of the tools, if you're not getting experience exactly from using the tool, you're going to hold it in either your active or your offhand. So when we get to the point of doing actual, bulk repairing of tools and things, we'll, and even now, shield is very arguably becoming unnecessary, but we'll, I'll hang on to it for a minute. We will load up and have this axe or any picks or anything that we need to repair that's not just the armor we're wearing. We'll just throw that in our offhand and then continue to use our sword. Our sword is going to keep very minimal damage once we get it equipped, because for any wear that it takes, every time we kill mobs, it's going to be re-healing, or unless we also have another tool in another hand. So it's once it gets topped back off from the wear we already put on it, it'll stay in good shape and we won't have to worry about it. Nothing wrong with grabbing those. I just, for carrots and potatoes, it seems like a bit of a rush to get those going. Let's flip some tools. Let's restock our torches. I think, I haven't looked at the time yet, but I think I will. And we may, depending on the duration of how far we've gone in this episode, we may call it here. We've made awesome progress, and from the start of today, when we were just initially hoping to get our farmers set up with trades, we made a wealth of emeralds. We've gotten a million, I'm hyperbole, right? But we got a number of really good trades available. I'm a little burnt, I wanted to have that efficiency 5 and that unbreaking 3. We'll get them. They're gonna come, and it always does. But let's take a look here. Yeah, we're coming up on 2 hours. So I think that's gonna be it. We'll call it quits there. I'm going to thank you guys all for joining. And again, I hope by sharing my thoughts on the COVID stuff, I know there's I have friends that, we are all great friends and can, openly talk about any of the stuff that's going on in the world. But we definitely have different takes on some of this kind of stuff. And, some people, we got to open things up. We got to get the economy going. That's obviously business owners and folks that have been adversely affected for employment stuff, and I certainly know how that goes. But I'm in a pretty good spot compared to folks with young children and big families and people that have a lot of that. I just have to look out for myself and can kind of just say no. And same goes, I don't have a bunch of kids around my house that are just climbing the walls and going crazy and say, hey, you promised we would get to go do fun things, whatever those may be. So I just wanted to say, I appreciate and definitely support my friends and all that don't share my personal opinions. But I do hope, we as a society we'll get through it all. That's my main desire. Is just let's get this done. So be safe out there when you do go out and enjoy opening up businesses and things like that. Please keep wearing a mask. Please, if you can, even if it's opened up, it doesn't mean you don't have to. So show people you care. Get vaccinated if you haven't, if you can, and keep coming back to watch here and share your thoughts and feedback in the comments. Love having you guys. Love having the interest in the series, and hope we can keep it going. So take care, and we'll see you next time. Have a great rest of your day. Bye now.